All right, everyone stand for the pledge and what do I think? I'll lead off. I pledge
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we're gonna do our annual walk around the property for action items and any things that we need to tackle before the winter next year. Someone got a pad and a pen so we can kind of take the items. Okay. All right, and then we'll come back in and resume the meeting tonight. Next time, that's that. Yeah, well, randomly we just wouldn't have. No scheduled speakers, one set of minutes to approve, April 24th minutes.
Motion to accept the meeting's minutes as April 24th as presented.
I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, okay. Minutes again. All right, obviously no public comments, that's good. Marilou, you're up.
Not much going on. Here are the names of the painters that we had for the, I gave you the information on, it was both worked in 2014. Adam Dupuy painted the garage for $4,100, and Tracy Ekstrom from Wolfboro painted the town hall for $2,080, the sand shed for $2,810, and the sign for $705.
That's what she did, the trim around the...
Yes. I don't have, oh. I do have April reports for you.
On the painters real quick.
Yep.
You want, I'll reach out to Adam. You want to reach out to Tracy, or?
You want to put out a request for proposals? It's all going to be townhouse, right?
I'm talking the townhouse, yeah. Scrape and paint. You know, we have two painters here that we use in the past with good success, so.
Okay.
And then see if there's anyone else, so.
Do you want another copy of that?
Yeah, that's right. Definitely.
We need a motion.
We need much more really doing it, we just kind of get,
Okay, so
just get some numbers, right?
we'll put out a request for scrape and paint.
Yep.
How does that happen?
We can post on the website. I don't know if there's any value doing a newspaper article or anything like that.
It is currently posted now.
Yeah, I was saying, yeah, I thought we were talking about it last week, right?
Okay.
And it's going on the newsletter too. So, and we'll contact these two and go from there.
Good.
And that's all I have till bills and checks.
Okey doke.
We need a motion to remove those dead trees.
Okay.
That's a potential hazard. Make a motion to get a proposal to remove dead trees.
Okay, so you want to get outside or have Eddie do it?
Well, I'll have Eddie do it. Road agent?
Eddie?
Yeah.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
The trees out front, the few that we saw as problems, is that something you could tackle in the near future, or should we go ahead and get?
You want it down this week?
Yeah.
First of next week?
Yep.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep.
The ash tree and the dead pine.
A couple dead pines went over
Yeah,
there.
I think there was actually two.
There was
two
dead-
Dead pines, ash and two pines.
Okay.
All right,
All right, so,
knock them out.
Yeah, certainly will.
so you made a motion that we have Eddie take down the,
Yeah, have road agent remove the trees.
okay, I'll second that motion. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, okay. Thank you, Eddie. Tax collector's not here. Laurie?
I don't really have too much. I'm still working on the website upgrade. They find supplied photos, but we are still looking for a good quality color photo of the townhouse. The one that was supplied was black and white, and it just isn't going to go with the other photos. So there was an issue with the quality too.
And you saw those photos in there, right?
None of them are really
They really
appropriate.
haven't mixed
So
it up.
I think we might try and take some photos. It would be nice if we had some from before, that maybe doesn't show the killing paint.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's in Photoshop.
if anyone knows of any.
Oh. Good call, listen. All right,
So
nothing.
I think that's all.
The newsletter, you mentioned, you get some paper and print them right here?
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna order that tomorrow.
You do like a color paper, right, if I remember correctly?
So that should be coming fairly soon. I think she set a deadline for the 15th. No. Well, I think she's gonna try and have it complete.
Oh, pretty, okay. Entry's deadline was the 6th.
That was to get the submissions,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Right.
you might have been in time when
Yes.
close. Yeah, good.
So, all good for me.
Okay. Planning board.
Meeting in 2 weeks. 17th.
17th.
Code
Enforcement road agent.
Nothing code enforcement wise to speak of, just, a lot of people asking questions this time of year, getting, thinking of spring projects and whatnot. Road wise, we've done the culvert on Robinson Road. We've graded Robinson Road, graded Lyford Road, and Price Drive. Tomorrow we're gonna start with the little patch of gravel on Moose Mountain that we tore up a year or so ago, and then go on to Tumbledown. And then hopefully we'll have that finished up by Thursday. And then I might try to start taking down the 2 little trees on Friday.
Mhm.
Moose Mountain Bridge, Holton Engineering?
Oh, yes, thank you. I was promised an update, and that date came and went. I would like you folks to consider having the town attorney write them a letter and highlighting their paragraph on their contract that says they will do this in a professional, timely manner. And possibly consider giving them the option to return our money in full, not the, we've spent this much on it already and whatnot.
I'll get moving.
Get moving or give us some money back.
Can you give me, Laurie, do you have a copy of the contract?
And I'll be glad to, there's a specific paragraph in there. I
Okay.
looked it over the other day.
All right. Yeah, Laura, can you scan in and email it over to me? Thank you. I'll try without lawyer first from Selectmen, maybe that gets me somewhere.
Yep.
And if that doesn't get us anywhere within a week or so, then I'll contact Laura and go from there.
Oh, do we have a different lawyer than Laura?
Yeah, we'll contact
Oh,
Laura.
you mean you're gonna do it with the select, from the select?
I'm gonna do it from Selectmen
I got you.
on Brookfield letterhead.
Yep,
And if that doesn't get us anywhere, then we'll start spending money on
Yep.
attorney drafting something over.
Yep.
This is, we got this final notice from State Transportation about the bridge. Something with this?
it's all been done, it's all been fixed.
The one we need to do is
That's just a sign, right?
Yeah,
Just each sign it. That's,
want me to snap her a picture of it tomorrow, or maybe Rick, you can snap a picture of it since you're kind of.
please notify us, what the thing is, notify us in writing so they can notify the Federal Highway Administration. All right, Laura, can you just send them something saying it is properly signed, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah, and you might want to take a picture of it too.
And the one-
Yeah, go ahead.
For the public edification, what was the background story with the engineer and why we're calling an attorney?
Ed, you took the one back.
I'd love to. We hired, several years ago, 2 years ago, we hired an engineering firm to do a feasibility study, I guess you'd call it. And we did that, and upon that study's recommendation, we hired the engineering firm to go ahead and engineer the repairs that they recommended. And we're getting nowhere. You know, they were nipping at our heels to sign the contract, and here it is, you know, we knew, they were told that this needed to get done so we could get the voters behind us to get the voters behind us and everything else for the 2018 town meeting, and it's come and gone, and I've been calling them now, and I'm not getting any response, so it's time to put their toes to the fire.
And the name of the company was?
Holden Engineering.
Thank you.
And while I'm speaking, I have one more thing to say, and I don't know if it's code, road, or what, but we had a bulletin board on the Stone and Four Corners that we were retiring, if you will, and has it been a month? Didn't you want to leave that posting up for a month?
I think we could probably lose it now. It's been close to a month.
Time to take it down?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the engineering, when I'm writing to them, what is owed us? Like
I can't remember the amount of the deposit we gave.
no, but what product is owed to
Well,
us?
the engineering, the actual engineering to do the repairs to the bridge.
Okay, so the engineering plans to do them.
Yeah.
Okay, I make sure I use proper terms. I don't
Yeah,
wanna-
or, you know, show us that they're doing something with our money,
Yeah, at least.
for the money we've given them.
Yeah. Okay.
Are they the company that's going to execute once this is all engineered? Do they fix it?
No. They just do, they acquire the permits and do the paperwork for the permits and do the actual engineering for the repair, so that it can go out to bid.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, can I have a follow-up?
Okay.
How much did we already pay the engineering firm, approximately?
I thought it was like
I'll get back to you.
$30,000 and we paid them 14, almost 15.
Yeah, I would assume it was half.
Yeah, I know we've paid them half.
So I think it was, I think the bid was actually 28 and we gave them 14. I'm
I
not
don't
sure.
say it's in the town report.
It may not have been last year, maybe the year prior year.
And it was all contracted.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
How about 30,000, we paid them 13,250. So the balance left is the 16,750, which is in this year's budget to expend.
Right. Okay. Now, we'll go with that topic, and you're all set? Excellent. Conservation Commission. Heritage.
The Heritage Commission meeting has been changed to next Tuesday night because of a conflict. So it'll be next Tuesday, May 15th at 7 PM here in the town offices. And we're always still looking for new members. If anyone's interested, come join us.
Okay. Cemetery trustees.
Memorial work is expected to start this week, Thursday.
And Craig's meeting, the cemetery's meeting to discuss the project overall, right? Didn't I hear that? Craig had circulated an email.
Oh, he did.
One second.
To Heritage, the Selectmen, and Cemetery. I don't remember the date,
I think that's Thursday, the 10th.
which would be this Thursday.
Yes.
Yes, yep, see you on the 10th. I'll assume 6:30?
7.
7, okay.
Is it here or next door?
It's usually next door,
He doesn't say.
or in this room.
I'm sure we'll find each other. All right. No other boards or committees to discuss? Yeah.
Before we move on,
Yeah.
there was a request from Judy Lewis about appointing Craig as an alternate. Did you guys see that?
From Judy Lewis, Cemetery Trustee, appointment of Craig Evans as alternate. The Cemetery Trustees would like Board of Selectmen to appoint Craig Evans as a Cemetery Trustee alternate. Craig has been valuable in Source of information as well as a hard work as an alternate, we highly recommend for this position. Thank you for your consideration. Okay, I'll put forth a motion, we accept the recommendation that Craig would be the appointed alternate for the cemetery trustees.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're good. Townhouse maintenance plan update. Well, I think right now, our major action on there is gonna be the painting. And as far
Yes.
as the plan update, Marilou, were we gonna talk to somebody about kind of,
He's just back in town, so
Alright.
I'll get together with him and see if we can come up with the order that the work should be done in.
and who was that again? If you don't remember them again.
I do remember, but I haven't contacted him, so I'd rather,
Okay, so we're looking to get an outside resource that knows about projects such as the townhouse restoration to kind of give us a better roadmap of how we should go about the restoration. But we'll still continue to go forward with the idea of scraping and painting, because then everything outside will be done at that point. Whole license agreement update, I gotta work with you, Laurie, on that. I gotta pull that stuff out and see what we gotta do. Try to get to that this month. Attic update.
We know we can go, we just need to,
Get some kids up there. The selectmen went up in the attic with Craig Evans and Diane Peckham. And there is a massive amount of old computers, screens, boxes, software that makes the majority of the junk up there. That stuff needs to go. Marilou, were you there too with us?
no,
No, okay.
I was out of town.
And then there's boxes of paperwork that need to be retained. So the idea is either we're going to look at building shelving or buying shelving in order to organize all the paperwork up there. So right now, it's the primary thing is there's a lot of up and down those stairs. Those stairs are not the most friendly stairs. They're rather steep and I'd say not the code. So we're trying to see if we can get someone with a truck so we can haul the stuff out of there. Most of it is computer junk that just needs to go. And then just some odds and ends that can go, just stuff that's accumulated over the years. We really need to either get to that like immediately or it's just gonna be too hot. So, did you get in touch with the high school volunteer?
not at this point.
Okay.
So, we just gonna get, can we get a dumpster, just bring all that stuff down, or just have them bring it down if we can get someone?
With computer screens, I'm not sure if we can do dumpsters, because aren't those
We're
technically
not supposed to.
hazardous waste?
No, but they can go to the Wakefield, whatever.
Transfer.
We take them there
Yeah.
frequently, so,
But won't they charge us, or do we get free by?
no, they
Okay.
haven't charged us that I remember.
All right, so
And Lance will take apart the computers and crush the,
yeah, get the hard disk
smash the
stuff.
hard drives.
Okay. So the big thing is getting most of that stuff down
Yep.
and out, at least out the back over here, so that we can get a truck and. So are you gonna fill up the high school and see if we can get some young man to haul stuff up and down? Yes.
I just wanted to comment that there's a statute that controls the disposition of municipal property. I would just glance through that to make sure we're not doing something we're not supposed to.
Okay, I'll check with very little on that, but I think most of the stuff is so dated now that I think it would probably meet the threshold of being basically invaluable. One of, is pretty outdated equipment up there, so. Okay, well, we'll check on that. Tumble down Dick Road status, sign status. This must have been Rich putting these on it, is that?
It was, he told me, I forgot all about it, to be honest with you. But I'll have it on my next meeting guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
I have the sign and everything, it's just me, at the end of the day, I just don't, I should probably just do it during the day.
Yeah.
It just seems like a waste of time doing it during the day, but I will. I'll get it done.
Okay.
Why do we keep replacing the sign?
Keeps getting stolen.
The brackets that you buy for signposts are aluminum. And they got smart and they wound the screws out, stole the sign. So we put a new sign up and put them in there and tried to grind them off a little bit, and then they managed to get them out again. So the next time I really ground them off. Well, they sat there and they took the sign and wiggled it back and forth on the aluminum bracket and busted it. So I got another sign, and I'm going to actually take steel and fabricate one and weld it to the signpost.
Can we set up a camera?
I do it.
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
when are they? Yeah, go for it. When are they going to? I mean, how many pictures with the cars that go through there? How many pictures are you going to be wasting?
I'll have to look at the area.
Yeah.
I'll be able to use a game cam, something that'll go off when you're standing in front.
Yeah, they'll steal the game camera too.
It's going too.
That's the history behind that. It's a sign that most people seem they need to have in their collection.
Change
Funny
the
until
name of the road.
911 needs to find the road. That's the only problem.
Change the name of the road.
Oh, jeez. I have a revolution, you know.
Is Kate Lane taken?
Matter of fact. All right, move on and upwards here. Fish and Game Grant. Ed, you want to speak to what the grant review committee found with this grant?
What I want to report to you is that the grant review committee did meet. We just have some final items to get, i.e. A clearly delineated map of the area that is going to be part of the project. And I have a question into the regional biologist that actually approved the grant, and I want to ask them about what a public access certification actually means, because I can't find any definition of it on the website. And let's see, there was one.
Was it an ongoing maintenance, you said?
Ongoing maintenance. Public access certification, yeah, and I wanted to see if, since the project delineates a management plan, but it doesn't specify how long that management plan has to be maintained. I want to make sure that you know if there's any costs later on. We'll be aware of that. I'm not sure if there would be, but, so that's what we're waiting for. Now, Tim Nolan, he's the forester, and I believe you already signed a contract for him to do the job. But he reported to me today that he needed to know if we were going to go forward with the parameters that are inside the grant, because what he would do normally without the grant and what he does with the grant is a little different. So he wants to make sure. So my advice would be to phone him and make sure he knows that we're going ahead with the grant, that he should use those parameters to do the job. And then the grant review committee can finish up their report, get it to you, and then you can officially sign it and send it off to Fish and Game.
Okay.
Because it shouldn't hold him up.
All right, I like that idea. All right, so I'm going to make a motion that we accept this grant, excuse me, contingent upon the completion of the grant review committee report. But at least we'll give Tim the ability to begin the project using the parameters that the grant would stipulate us to.
Okay. Second.
Okay. Any further discussion? We all good? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So, Laurie, you can reach out to him. You can reach out to Nolan and tell him that we're good, and we're just crossing our T's and dotting our I's, and we should be able to get a signed copy of them next week. Sound all right?
Yes, I did have something to add. Part of what the grant review committee is working on is the actual process. And if you will see, it's actually in the minutes, it's basically just a flow chart which shows what process you would follow, and it looks like this.
Okay.
So it'll be easy. So we're, on our time, at our next meeting, we're going to work more on this process so the flow can be followed, no matter who comes in for a grant. So, but I did want to ask that since this board has been officially created, I would think that any department head or official that comes to you with an application should trigger us immediately, and we should go into the process. And I believe that the last grant that was discussed, other than this one, was the forestry truck grant.
Yes.
So, since this is still a learning curve and a process, it's not set in stone, I would like this to also be done to the forestry truck, just to test out the waters and make sure, again, you have the background to it.
Yeah, Brad said he either started or he filled out the application, and now I'm not sure if that is a true grant application that he did, or just more or less to get him in the queue. So next time I see Brad, I'm gonna ask him for copies of that, so we can get that over to you, so we can then put that on your plate. It's obviously not a rush, because we're not getting a truck anytime soon, but we should at least know what we're getting involved with over there.
And I believe I sent the minutes out, which also has the flow chart in there.
Yes.
And the first step is the person comes in, says they're gonna apply for some whatever grant they're gonna apply for, and then you're to trigger us via email, and then we meet probably that immediate week. If it's a Tuesday, then it would be a Friday, so we could start that process. And it should be at the application moment, because this is my opinion, is that no one should be asking you nobody should be going out and applying for funds when you don't know the background and the eventuality of what the grant is.
Right.
So-
It's the cart before the horse. We need the review before we apply, and that's why I want to see what Brad really applied for versus, was that a grant that he applied for, or was that just merely an application to get in the queue to, possibly be nominated for a truck down the road. So when I see him, I want to see what he did do, and then we can tell it over to you guys.
Okay.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so you contact the forester, we'll get there. And hopefully we'll get the review from them, and you and I can take a look, and all things being equal, we will go ahead and sign the application, or I will sign it.
Yep.
Okay, excellent.
Mr. Chairman, one
Yes.
last question. Do you recall if Brookfield has, by warrant, allowed the selectmen under RSA 31:95B to accept unanticipated funds without town approval?
I believe they have.
That sounds, yes, that we have, but I don't know for sure. I don't want to answer definitively, because I'm just not positive on that. Well, why do you ask, by the way?
Well, because the grant would fall under RSA 31:95B.
So even though it's technically a grant, it's still falling as unsolicited funds, so.
Correct.
And so if we didn't set that warrant, would we have to do a special meeting, or?
RSA 31:95B is generally understood to apply to federal, state, or private grants that become available to a municipality through an application or award process by the granting entity. The money offered to the municipality must be unexpected and unforeseen. And basically, it's basically saying that if it's over a certain amount, if it's $10,000 or more, then you have to have a hearing, and a different process is followed. But for instance, Ossipee's town voted to accept this statutory structure, so therefore, examples of an unanticipated revenue would be a highway grant from the New Hampshire Department of Safety, Division of Homeland Security, for the purchase of equipment funded by the Federal Emergency Management, performance grant, etc.
If I remember correctly, when we got that highway grant, we did do a hearing to accept
We
it,
had to.
because it was 20-something thousand,
Yeah.
whatever it was.
If the amount awarded is $10,000 or more, the governing body must hold a public hearing.
And that we did do this past November or so.
Yeah.
And so, Eddie?
If I remember correctly, this issue came up when we started the donate for the windows.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
And somebody brought up the fact that it was unanticipated funds, and I think that's when it got straightened out.
Yeah, I think we did do the warrant a couple
I
of
think
years
so.
ago. All right, we'll have to dig in that, just to be positive.
And that's designed just so if money comes into the town, there's a process to vet the revenue, because it's not been addressed in the budget as written.
I
The
guess so.
selectmen do have to approve it, though, approve the accepting of it. I know that's true for any funds that come through me that we weren't anticipating.
Okay, I will look for that warrant though. Thanks, Ed, because I could have swore we passed this, and I remember the last time we did this was for the highway grant, we did the hearing and everything, so I think we have that right, but through the warrant that we passed previously, but let me verify.
And finally, each grant review report will have a control number on the top of it. The committee discussed this, and I think it would be advantageous for the town and for historical reference to have that control number on the budget. So it'll actually show the revenue that came in unanticipated, and then it'll show the control number of the report.
So we can backtrack to that report.
At any time. So the report will be in the minutes, it'll be in the historic record of the town. That way, when somebody looks through the budget, they see, a Homeland Security grant, or they see the forestry truck grant, or they see a small grant fund from Fish and Game, and then they have control number, and then report.
And it matches right to the report.
And it also will show that it was reviewed and that there was due diligence behind it.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, any new business? Seeing none? No public comments? Right. So at this point, we got some mail. Not a heck of a lot, and we do have some bills. And we got bank statements. I'm going to pass the bank statements down and
Yes.
I'll stack the bills and we'll read them all in. And oh, so this is just an application that you guys have put in to put some of your land to
Oh,
current
yes,
use.
it's there, yes.
All right.
It's a current use application. I would ask you to make sure that there should be a soil potential index number attached to it from the county. Yeah, good.
Okay. So we'll get this over to Rod. He's going to be in Friday, actually. And once he gives us his recommendation, we'll sign off on it.
Oh, you don't sign the
I think
application?
we wait for his recommendation, and then we sign off on it. I think that's the way these work, I thought.
I was under the impression he told our assessor clerk to put it in your box to sign the application. But
Check on Friday.
just make sure it's not time sensitive. It's been lost in-house. And I met
See,
my
413,
time
you guys did this.
And with you guys going away, and, it requires at least 2 signatures from the selectmen, so.
All right, I'm gonna see him Friday. I'm meeting with him about Darrow. I'll ask him about this as well. And will you be around to sign it this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, so.
Just give me a text or something.
Okay. State of New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration, 2017 Modified Local Assessed Valuation. The town currently stands at a base valuation for debt limits of $106 million. So more or less our equalization is strong, continues to go up from prior year. We don't have any to do. So this letter is the official notification of your 2017 total equalization valuations. You have the right to appeal these valuations. We obviously are not appealing,
Could you repeat the number again?
total is $106,268,038. That is the base valuation for debt limit. And that equals across for equalization and assessed valuation, so we're in good shape. Ospey Aggregates,
Inch and a half CBR.
inch and a half CBR, $276.53. Application for building permit, and a check. I'll pass it along to you, sir.
Sure.
And that's it for bills.
No.
Oh, jeez, I was like, that's it? I was like, she said, thanks for all the, thanks for volunteering. 10 construction, $4,070, which includes blowing out ditches, replacing culvert in Robinson Road, grading Lyford, Bryce, and Robinson Road, $4,070. Consolidated Communications, $42.16, that is internet. Consolidated Communications phone, $84.01.
She's the one that does the title searches for Diana.
Oh, okay. Mountain View title search abstracting, sorry. $265, that's for 2017 lien tax searches, 3 new and 19 updates. George Nick receipt for $46.90. This is for mailing certified letters out doing a lot line adjustment, and all these letters are notified. We, by chance, the town is also a butter on a lot line adjustment that's being petitioned, so we are also on those. So we owe that full amount? 3?
Yep.
Okay. Well, we just didn't pay last month? Or no, it's
No,
just a
we
big
just
bill.
got it.
What's up with that?
I don't know.
Oh, what's that? All right, Eversource, $328.28. This is our April billing. It's peculiar because,
It was much later. We normally would have gotten it at the last selectmen's meeting.
but what's odd is that our April usage seems to match last year's April usage. And it's historically the highest usage month we have in the whole year. Okay. So it's not an anomaly, it matches last year. It's kind of odd, isn't it?
I've seen that before.
It's April, it just seems like less lights, less heat. State Department, New Hampshire Department of State, just vital record statistics, $33. Primex, this is our
Property liability.
property liability insurance. Premium $2,805. My good friends at Wentworth School, their big payments come up now, $143,828 for the month of May. All next ones.
So you have 2, is that 2 from profile?
Yep.
One account was closed and rolled into another.
Okay, so our savings account was closed with $331,000, $331,985.12. Zeroed out on April 30th. Then beginning balance to the new account, savings account, $420,940.36.
Look
So
at the interest we earned.
not too shabby, huh?
Not too shabby, huh? It was a good move.
All right, so the 331, we show moved on the 13th, it shows up here. Then it's just some other deposits, so take that interest. So I make a motion, we accept the bills as read on the record.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bills. And just a few checks and then we're done. Oh, that's right. We passed that one down. It looked like they sent like a duplicate statement, so.
Well, I think it's, one's an invoice, one's a statement.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anything else we good? All right. Okay, if nothing else, wrap it up. Meeting adjourned.